7:03 on Friday morning. It's August 22nd. We're sitting at 66 degrees, going up to about 85. Sunshine today. Isn't it nice to see the sun again? Good morning. I'm Michelle Basch.
And I'm Kyle Cooper. The top local stories that we're following for you this hour on WTOP. 2 weeks into the law enforcement surge in D.C. that he set in motion, President Trump yesterday visited with some of the people doing that work. WTOP's Alan Etter was there with him at a U.S. Park Police barracks in Southeast.
Well, I just want to thank everybody very much for being here. I wanted to do this. We've had some incredible results. The results have come out.
In Anacostia Park, where U.S. Park Police keeps its helicopter, Trump shook hands and delivered pizza and hamburgers to members of the military and law enforcement who've been deployed here in D.C. for what the president calls a public safety emergency.
It's like a different place. It's like a different city. It's the capital. It's going to be the best in the world. We're going to do what you're doing with law enforcement, and very importantly also, we're going to physically do it. We're going back to Congress for some money, and we're going to redo a lot of the pavement, a lot of the medians, a lot of the graffiti's all coming off real fast. It's going to come down real fast.
Mayor Muriel Bowser and others have called this deployment a political stunt, citing federal and local statistics showing crime is lower now than it has been in a generation. In Anacostia Park, Alan Etter, WTOP News.
Now, new this morning, President Trump is again threatening a complete and total federal takeover of D.C. In an overnight social media post, he lauded police and the D.C. National Guard, saying they're doing a fantastic job, in his words. He also noted there were no murders in the nation's capital this week, in his words, for the first time in memory. Now, Trump also criticized Mayor Muriel Bowser, claiming she must immediately stop giving false and highly inaccurate crime figures, or, he says, bad things will happen. Now, Mayor Bowser has defended police numbers earlier in the week, saying crime has gone down precipitously over the last 2 years because of a lot of hard work.
We have an update this morning on 2 teenagers charged in D.C. for the attempted carjacking of a former DOGE employee. It's a case that President Trump cited as one of the reasons to launch his law enforcement surge in the nation's capital. The teens will be moved into less restrictive detention, despite objections from prosecutors. Olivia George, who's covering the impact of the Trump administration on the D.C. area for the Washington Post, joined us earlier with the details.
The 2 teens, there's a boy and a girl, they've both been held at the Youth Services Center, which is effectively a facility in D.C. that holds young offenders before and after their court hearing. I was at the courthouse and saw a D.C. judge order that the boy can be transferred to home confinement. The girl will be sent to a youth detention house effectively. They will both be under 24-hour curfew, which the judge explains they can be at school or home, nowhere else. They'll be monitored electronically, as well as having to abide by a host of other restrictions. But that move to kind of downgrade them to less restrictive detention came despite an objection from the prosecutor in the case.
The teenagers' attorneys emphasized that this was the first contact either had with D.C.'s juvenile justice system.
In other court news, a judge is expected to order the release of Kilmar Abrego Garcia from a Tennessee jail as early as today, as he awaits trial on federal human smuggling charges. Abrego Garcia is the man who was living in Maryland when he was mistakenly deported to El Salvador, where he's from. WTOP's Neil Augenstein has the latest.
More than 2 months ago, a federal judge in Tennessee ruled that Kilmar Abrego Garcia should be released until his trial, but his lawyers worried that he'd be immediately deported. Now, attorneys for Abrego Garcia say they've hired a private security firm that will take him from Tennessee to Maryland. But that freedom before trial could be short-lived, since ICE could detain him and try to deport him again to a country other than El Salvador once he's back in Maryland. As of yesterday, the judge in Tennessee said she'd soon issue an order to release Abrego Garcia. Neil Augenstein, WTOP News.
Coming up on WTOP.
Boy, many of us just don't want to even try meal kits. I'm Jeff Claiborne.
Traffic and weather in 30 seconds.